Martin O'Neill has hilariously silenced Rangers after what they just said. We will discuss this in today's video, whilst of course going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours, which of course includes the build-up to our game tonight.
But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content.
A new report from Record Mexico has shed light on Efrain Juarez's uncertain situation at Pumas UNAM, just as Celtic prepare to speak with him this week regarding their managerial vacancy. Juarez, who became the first ever Mexican to play for Celtic after joining in 2010, is enduring a difficult spell in charge of Pumas. His team currently sits 10th in Liga MX, with just 4 wins from 16 matches. According to Record, Juarez's position is described as delicate, with 2 options on the table. He could be dismissed, or he may choose to step down after a poor run of form. Despite that, Celtic are still believed to be interested in interviewing him. The 37-year-old has reportedly made the club's 8-man shortlist to replace Brendan Rodgers, with a Zoom meeting expected to take place later this week. Whether Juarez will remain in his Pumas role by the time that interview happens remains to be seen. Now for the main story, as Martin O'Neill has fired back at Rangers' outrage following their 3-1 League Cup semi-final defeat to Celtic, accusing the Ibrox side of making excuses after their Hampton loss. Rangers lodged a complaint with the SFA over Austin Trusty's challenge on goalkeeper Jack Butland, but the governing body backed the official's decision. Speaking in his pre-Midtjylland press conference, O'Neill admitted Trusty was lucky to avoid a red card, but said Rangers were equally fortunate to be awarded a penalty that levelled the score at 1-1. I'm delighted to be here, and if you said to me, I've got one more win over Rangers, well, that's the best news in the world. For God's sake, take it on, whatever sort of excuses they make. 2 things. I don't think it was a penalty, and I think Trusty was lucky to stay on the field. O'Neill went on to praise the match as one of Europe's great fixtures and said his side deserved the win. We won. Watching it back, sometimes there's things you miss. We had awesome chances. Rangers did well with 10 men, but we created plenty. The fallout from Ibrox continues, with Rangers fans convinced they were cheated, despite several controversial calls having gone in their favour throughout the game. Celtic, meanwhile, are turning their attention to their Europa League tie against Midtjylland tonight. In other news, Luis Palma's loan spell at Lech Poznan is going from strength to strength, but the Polish side face a major financial decision if they want to make his move from Celtic permanent. The Honduran winger has been in fine form since joining the Ekstraklasa side in the summer, notching 5 goals and 4 assists already this season. However, while the club have the option to buy as part of his loan deal, their director of communications and PR, Maciej Hensel, admits meeting Celtic's asking price could be a serious stretch. We have a release clause. It doesn't seem possible to lower it. I don't think it's negotiable, Hensel told Polish outlet Meksiki.pl. The fee, believed to be well above Lech's current transfer record, would require the club to double their highest ever outlay, which currently stands at €2.3 million. It's not an easy matter, Hensel added. To buy Palma, we have to break our transfer record by about 2 times. Lech Poznan had initially hoped to negotiate the price down, but Celtic have made it clear they will not budge on the clause. With Palmer's form making him one of the league's standout performers, the Scottish champions now hold a strong position ahead of the summer. Lech are enjoying the winger's impact as they push for European football, but a decision on his future is expected to be made closer to the summer window. If Palmer maintains his current form, the Polish side could have a real dilemma on their hands: break the bank to keep their star man, or risk losing him back to Celtic. In other news, Celtic defender Austin Trusty has hailed the influence of Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney since the interim duo took charge, saying their arrival has given the squad a much-needed boost in belief and energy. Trusty, who was man of the match in Sunday's dramatic 3-1 League Cup semi-final win over Rangers but also at the centre of post-match controversy, spoke to Celtic TV ahead of Thursday night's Europa League clash with Midtjylland. The American was full of praise for O'Neill and Maloney's approach and the instant impact they've had on the group. He admitted he was surprised at just how funny the Irishman was, with that wit Celtic fans know and love showing from his very first press conference. Great. As soon as they came in, they filled us all with confidence, and that's what we needed. I think we've reacted well to the messages and how they come into the team, Trusty said. Obviously, Martin, I didn't know him personally, but to come in and see his charisma, I didn't realize how funny he actually is. Just to see that and the knowledge the whole entire coaching staff has, it's been really good. I think we've all really reacted to it in a really positive way, and that's the results we've seen. The defenders' comments reflect a visible lift within the Celtic squad since O'Neill and Maloney stepped in following Brendan Rodgers' shock resignation last week. O'Neill has brought his trademark motivation and experience to the dressing room, while Maloney has taken a more hands-on role with tactics. During extra time at Hampton, it was Maloney who delivered the half-time team talk, showing the clear trust and balance between the two. Celtic head into tonight's game in Denmark full of renewed belief, looking to build on the momentum of 2 straight wins under the new interim setup. Lastly, it's been a crazy few weeks at Celtic. From Brendan Rodgers' resignation and Dermot Desmond's blistering statement to Martin O'Neill taking over the squad 2 decades after leaving the Hoops. Sunsport journalist Robert Grieve believes that O'Neill's remarkable return to the Celtic dugout is likely to be short-lived, despite his strong start as interim manager. O'Neill has guided Celtic to 2 morale-boosting victories, including a League Cup semi-final win over Rangers that booked a place in December's final. However, Grieve claims the board have already been in talks with potential long-term replacements for Rodgers and expects O'Neill's stint to end after this weekend's game against Kilmarnock. I suspect they've been talking to people, not just one, but various potential replacements for Brendan Rodgers for a while now. The Martin O'Neill thing we thought was for 4 games, and I still think it'll come to an end after the weekend fixture and the international break. He added that some of the names under consideration may currently be employed and reluctant to leave their posts mid-season. That despite Celtic's results under Rodgers, performances lacked intensity compared to previous seasons. People ridicule O'Neill for not believing in XG or all these stats, he said, but he's proven in 2 games that motivation and man management still matter. That's what elite management is about, and O'Neill is elite at that. Turning to Rodgers, Boyd accused the Northern Irishman of undermining his players before his exit, referencing the now infamous Honda Civic comments after the Dundee defeat. Rodgers kept asking for better players, but when you start comparing your team to Honda Civics, it's not a good look, Boyd said. Some players in that dressing room must have been fuming. Rodgers knew exactly what he was doing. Boyd concluded by saying that O'Neill's short-term success proves that experience, character, and leadership still hold immense value, even in a football world obsessed with analytics.
What do you think of what we discussed in today's video? Let us know down in the comments section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.